What's up, guys? James Hill, founder and CEO of Black Millionaires. Jay-Z, H to the Izzo, V to the Izzy, Hove, Sean Carter just dropped another freestyle and it got the streets rocking because a lot of people talking about who he took aim at. He took aim at you. He took aim at corporate America. He took aim at Target. He took aim at Colin Kaepernick and even did a whole verse about him. So we got a lot to go through today. Now, before we get through it, I know you guys see the Jay-Z book in the back. Hold on, it's over here. You see the Ace of Spade bottle. So obviously I'm a Jay-Z fan, but I'm also going to do my journalistic job and break down the lyrics and talk about where he has some missteps at where I think it didn't really land as well as he thought it was going to land, and I'm going to talk about some of the things that I agree with and break it down and giving you an overall analysis line by line. So for the people who going to be in the comments, you bias, listen, everybody know I'm a Jay-Z fan, and if you don't know, I am, but I'm also a fan of my integrity and me breaking down the business topics of what's going on because I have to eat. Jay-Z's not paying my bills. So I know y'all be in the comments talking about he's on people payroll. Absolutely not. I would gladly like some of them billions of dollars if he gonna funnel it down to me through trickle down economics, but we all know that's not how economics work. So let's get into it. So what I'm gonna do is break down the lyrics, and I'm gonna let you guys know when Jay-Z is speaking. I don't want to put the actual freestyle up because I don't want to get hit with any type of copyright or any, you know how that go, right? I'm not sure. His lawyers probably just striking everything, but so here are direct lyrics, and we're gonna break it down part by part. Let's go. He started out with a banger. So the first part, he's talking about the Target boycott. He said, "I'm a target. Whom don't aim miss their target. No exclusive. They only doing what Apple and Walmart did. You shopping at Amazon or you boycotting. You posting on Instagram. That's Meta, boy. Stop it. You know Google owns YouTube. You picking and choosing, politicking as usual." So for people who don't understand why he took those shots, right? Okay, for one, he's been getting a lot of backlash online because there was this rumor that went around that he did an exclusive partnership with Target to release his album. So Jay-Z is celebrating the 30-year debut of his album Reasonable Doubt. That is the album that made him famous. That is the album that made him rich. That is the album he started Rockefeller with Dame Dash and Kareem Big Burks. That's the album that is Covenant, and that was a big dispute because Dame Dash still kind of owned 33% of it, and they be going having a back and forth. So this is a big deal in the Sean Carter Jay-Z atmosphere, in his catalog, and this is the only one that he doesn't own 100% of. Now there it was like a dispute with Dame Dash, and the state of New York got it, and maybe he got it back. I don't know, but this is the 30th anniversary. So this is why this is a big deal. Now he released this through different retail partners. So he said Apple, Walmart, and Target got this vinyl release, which I believe sold 30 or 40,000 copies his first week, which is crazy for an album that's been out 30 years. But it's an iconic classic album and symbolizes Jay-Z's whole career. And in the freestyle, again, he says, "I'm a target." This is the lyrics from the freestyle. "I'm a target. Whom don't aim miss their target. No exclusive. They only doing what Apple and Walmart did." So he's basically saying, y'all are cap. I'm not doing an exclusive rollout through Target. Apple and Walmart got this. Now, obviously, Apple has Apple Music, Target, and Walmart are some of the largest, if not the two largest, retail brands out there. So I could see how Apple, Target, and Walmart did get this, but because Target got it, it looks like an exclusive. Now, Target is getting a lot of backlash from the black community because of the whole boycott, um, Target movement that was started by the young lady in Minnesota. I actually forgot her name, but she started this boycott Target because they ended their DEI initiatives because Donald Trump got in office and wrote an executive order saying anybody who is still pushing and doing DEI is going to be on his hit list. A lot of companies pushed back, but Target was not one of them. Now um Target is getting a lot of backlash because prior to this, Target was the DEI darling. They had LBGTQ aisles. They had the whole like a black owned aisle for hair care and skin care and all of that. They were diversity darlings. They monetized diversity till they couldn't monetize it no more. And then the minute Donald Trump gets in office, they say, "Oh, we're getting rid of diversity, equity, and inclusion." So a lot of people felt like Target, y'all are frauds because y'all was the one monetizing and pushing this a lot. They even the black community people calling it Target, right? Whatever. And I personally believe if Target continued to do what they said they were going to continue to do without having a diversity and inclusion technically on the books, that was fine in my book because I don't believe these corporate companies are going to be my savior anyway. So that's my stance on it, but other people didn't feel that way. So a lot of people who shopped there and who really coveted Target, they felt like they were betrayed because here you are when it's all going good, you taking money from us. You getting a bunch of money, you marketing our products and looking like the diversity darling. Soon as Donald Trump come in, you don't even give any pushback. So that is why when Jay-Z's name was attached to that, it looked bad because Jay-Z has a reputation in the streets for when corporate America needs a black face, quote unquote, they do a partnership with Jay-Z. And he got this reputation from the Nets. Remember, he did the Nets partnership, got paid 10 or 20 million dollars, and a lot of people felt like, oh, they only partner with Jay-Z to get a bunch of those people to sell their brownstones and build the Nets stadium there in Brooklyn, and now they're the Brooklyn Nets transferring from the New Jersey Nets. This is what the streets say. This is not what I'm saying. I personally don't have a dog in the fight. I'm from Detroit. I'm not from New York, and I understand why a lot of New Yorkers felt that way because some of my roommates throughout college, some of my roommates when I moved to Atlanta were from New York, and they had a different perspective than somebody as a Jay-Z fan looking on the outside looking in. My grandma didn't have to sell her brownstone. My uncle didn't have to sell his condo. So I wasn't personally affected by it. I was happy to see Jay-Z partnering with the NBA because I'm like, oh man, he was a part owner. That's all they kept talking about. But then when you really looked at the numbers, it wasn't adding up for a lot of New Yorkers. So that is why Jay-Z had that reputation. Okay, so Jay-Z pushed back on the deal. He said it wasn't an exclusive deal with Target. It went through Walmart and it went through Apple. And then he also talked about the hypocrisy, right? So let's go back to the lines again. He said, these are the Jay-Z lyrics. I'm a target whom don't aim miss their targets. No exclusive. They only doing what Apple and Walmart did. You shopping at Amazon or you boycotting. You posting on Instagram, that's meta, boy, stop it. Google owns YouTube. You picking and choosing politics as usual. Also, that's a good line. Google owns YouTube. So Jay-Z is famous for when he had Tidal, he bought Tidal, him and Beyonce, in order to promote Tidal, they took all their music off of YouTube. You guys probably don't remember this, but as a Jay-Z fan and as somebody who supported Tidal when they was doing it, Jay-Z pulled all his stuff off of YouTube. So that was kind of like a stab at YouTube again, saying like Google owns YouTube. So like y'all acting like these companies that y'all are using to criticize me are doing something for y'all and they're not. So that's the portion where I did understand the hypocrisy. I'm like, yeah, I mean, you're on Twitter that's owned by Elon Musk criticizing Jay-Z for doing a corporate deal. It's kind of like, you it's not really, the math is not really math. So I do understand from that perspective why people would feel like, or why he would feel like y'all are, the hypocrisy is extremely high because y'all holding me to a standard, quote unquote Jay-Z, that y'all don't hold these corporate entities to the same standard. And from a community standpoint, I can see how people can say, well, they're not black. They're never, they're not black. So you are black. You understand the struggle. You came up in the streets from Brooklyn. You was in the Marcy Projects. You made it out. You became a multi-billionaire. So they never went through the struggle and never claimed to go through the struggle. Your whole raps is about making it out of the struggle. So you should understand what your moves that you're making, how that affects the community versus these big companies. But that's a stretch because, again, once these people get in these corporate offices and once these people making hundreds of millions and billions of dollars on corporate jets, on golf course with their buddies and all of that, they lose touch, right? As a person who hasn't made billions of dollars, I've done well for myself. I'm from the east side of Detroit. I'm from the streets. I'm from all of that. Again, I went to college. I worked in corporate America. You start to lose touch and you start to not want to do some of the things you used to do when you came up, right? So I can understand from a little bit. Obviously, I'm not a billionaire riding on private jets, but I'm a person who's changed my life, and a lot of people look at me as, hey, you don't hang out in the hood no more. You're not in the trap house playing a game like you used to. What are you doing? Have you changed? And I'm like, yeah, I can't be in the trap house anymore, bro. Like, bro, I can't be in the trap playing the video games with you. You're selling coke. Like, I'm not trying to go to jail. I understand, like, when they come in here, they're gonna bust both of us. And I'm not built for that. I'm not about that life. So I can understand that from that perspective, but people don't want to hear that. When you black and you doing business with corporate America, people already put that sellout tag on you. And that's kind of unfortunate because basically all of our black entertainers and athletes are going to be considered sellouts at one point because they're going to take corporate dollars. That's just how it happens. But also, the same people who criticizing you about taking corporate dollars work for corporations. They're at their job working for companies that are criticizing celebrities and rich people for working with companies. So there is a lot of hypocrisy there. So let's move on to part two of the lyrics. Now, this is where it kind of get deep, right? Oh, these are the lyrics from Jay-Z. They looking deep for narratives, it's embarrassing. They're running up characters having to bring back up Kaepernick. Buddy took a check. I'm not even mad at him. But along with that check, you had to sign a non-disparaging. Okay. Now that was a shot. Now hold on. Let's go run it back. These are Jay-Z's lyrics on his freestyle for his first show in New York at the stadium in New York. I forgot the stadium. They're looking deep for narratives. It's embarrassing. They're running up characters, having to bring back up Kaepernick. Buddy took a check. I'm not even mad at him. But along with that check, you have to sign a non-disparaging. Okay, let's go back. Kaepernick has famously kneeled and protest the singing of the national anthem from the NFL. The NFL band together and boycotted Kaepernick not to give him a job. Now Kaepernick, he was a all-star quarterback when he was in the league. He even took his team to the Super Bowl and they lost, but he was one of the few black quarterbacks to even make it that far. Now, he had issues with the NFL not speaking up about police brutality and some of the things black people go through. So he started to protest in order to bring awareness to the situation. The NFL got together allegedly and they blackballed him. They didn't hire him, even though he was better than at least half of the quarterbacks at that time. This was like 8-9 years ago. And they didn't give him a job. A lot of people, they started giving a whole bunch of people jobs. And if you look at the stats, somebody who done brought a team to the a quarterback that done brought a team to the Super Bowl, and y'all giving these other people jobs, it was a real, where there was some smoke, there was some real fire there. So Jay-Z famously stepped in and supported Kaepernick at first, right? He was behind Kaepernick. And then Kaepernick started not really giving a plan, not really talking about what the next steps were. So Jay-Z came in and said, I think we're past kneeling, which rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. He did a press conference with the NFL owners and Roger Goodell, the commissioner in the NFL, and said, I think we're past kneeling. And then like 6 months later, they announced some partnership that Jay-Z is going to be the one doing the halftime shows. Now, all of these halftime shows that all you Negroes out here be dancing, they not like us. All it is, Beyonce, all of these people that has been at the halftime show and y'all dancing to this, they're there because of Jay-Z. But also people were boycotting the NFL. So there's a lot of hypocrisy in the people who criticize what Jay-Z does, and then they also dance when it's time to dance. So Jay-Z took the deal with the NFL. He's been doing that deal for about 8 years now. And again, he brought Bad Bunny, he brought Beyonce, and then Jay-Z, okay, he famously said in one of his lines, I said no to the NFL. You need me, I don't need you. So Jay-Z had his own beef with the NFL. In a way to patch it up, they made him the head of the halftime show. So he's going at Kaepernick, basically saying, y'all calling me a sellout. Kaepernick sold out and he signed a non-disparaging. Okay, what is a non-disparaging? Let me read through the lyrics again, and then I'm going to give y'all the definition. Here are the lyrics. They looking deep for narratives. It's embarrassing. They running up characters having to bring back up Kaepernick. But he took a check. I'm not even mad at him. But along with that check, you had to sign a non-disparaging. So here's the definition of a non-disparaging. A non-disparaging disagreement. A non-disparagement clause. Sorry, I'm from the east side of Detroit, y'all. A non-disparagement clause is a contractual provision that prohibits parties from making negative, critical, or damaging statements about one another. Commonly found in employment contracts, severing packages, and legal settlements. These clauses are designed to protect a company's public image and business reputation. Now, to play devil's advocate here, Kaepernick did kneel. He did all of that. He got everybody riled up to boycott the NFL. Then he does this deal with the NFL. Rightly so. People felt like, okay, Kaepernick, he was done wrong. And then he signs this deal with Nike. He does this documentary with talking about the NFL being slavery and all that. And then he goes on a 7-year run trying to get back into the NFL, practicing, doing podcasts, doing interviews, saying he want to get back into the NFL. So a lot of people are like, okay, we rode for you, Cap, and now you're trying to get back into the NFL. So that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And this is what Jay-Z is hinting at in his lyrics, saying you had to sign a non-disparaging, meaning your actions are not aligning up with your wordplay when you first started this. So a non-disparaging, that is the reason you are not standing on business like you want everybody else to stand on business. You're not even standing on business because you're doing all of these tryouts trying to quote unquote get back into the NFL. So I can understand. Now, okay, here's another part of the lyrics. The second part that's kind of connected to the Kaepernick situation. I'm one of them they can't control. Better be glad it's him, referencing Kaepernick. 500 billion back into the community. Let's just get math at him. I don't listen to Twitter activists. They type and I laugh at them. It's really no comparison. Y'all checking my stats again. I'm bringing folks home to their families. Laws get passed because of him. Whether you like it or not, he don't do no ass kissing. Ex-drug dealer, you might not like the packaging, but my presence is a presence and my gift is rapping. Okay, now these are some clear shots at Kaepernick, but the issue I have with this is the timing, because Kaepernick just made headlines for funding the autopsy for the 18-year-old Nolan Wells who was found dead in a river in Mississippi, and he went out and for the 4th of July with his white friends and ended up dead. And Kaepernick is making headlines for funding that and stepping up and supporting the family. So that narrative, him shooting at Jay-Z, Jay-Z shooting at Kaepernick during this time, it don't really sit well with a lot of people, because now they're feeling like they gotta pick and choose between Jay-Z or Kaepernick. And Jay-Z's taking a quote unquote check from Target and all these corporations, and he's a multi-billionaire. And Kaepernick's someone who sacrificed their career for the greater good of raising raising noise in corporate America, risking and sacrificing his career to quote unquote stand up for black people and speak up for black people. And then this Nolan Wells situation. So it looks bad. It's bad timing. I don't like the timing of this. I feel like you could have let that you could have let that die down a little bit. People figure out what's going on with the Nolan Wells situation, clap for him, because he is doing something good to help that family. But I want to know what you guys think. Go look up the Jay-Z lyrics. I'm not putting them up because of copyright issues. I don't want to get my video struck down. But I know you guys are gonna be in the comments. Oh, James, you biased. You got the Jay-Z in the back. Listen, I love me some Jay-Z. I love Hove. That's my favorite artist behind J. Cole. And J. Cole was signed to Rock Nation, so that's another bias, right? But I want you guys to respect my craft and the integrity that I bring to the table with journalism, and respect my platform. Obviously, I want to know your guys' thoughts in the comments. And you know me, I don't care if you agree with me or disagree with me. I just care that you give your thoughts and share your thoughts, because we all have our opinion. Overall, I did like the freestyle, but I think the Kaepernick thing kind of rubbed people the wrong way a little bit because of the timing, the Nolan Wells situation. Kaepernick is in the headlines for helping. Jay-Z is hosting these pop-up shops, making millions of dollars, and seemingly, supposedly have a partnership with Target, and he dispelled that in the freestyle. But that's just the rumors and the narrative that's going around. So, all right, love you guys, appreciate you guys. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Peace. Thank you guys for watching. I want to make a deal with you. On my end, I'm going to produce high quality, informative content for you to enjoy and learn from. And on your end, you're going to subscribe down below to the podcast. Now we have a 50-50 deal to build this independent media company together. And if you want to invest with us and ensure our success, subscribe down to the YouTube membership. It really, really helps us hire journalists, hire videographers, and do the investigative journalism and independent journalism that you love and that you learn from.